Hi guys, the not so good artist here. Today, I'm gonna share some of my experiences in coloring as well as some tips while using the Arrtx OROS alcohol brush markers, the sponsor of this video. I made a whole review of this more than a month ago, so I'm gonna leave a link on the description below if you want to check it out. In here, I'm drawing the Lower Moon 6 Kamanoe as Hashira. I decided to make him the Flame Hashira since I find his hair interesting. Not really ability related since the manga didn't really reveal this ability as far as I know. Coloring isn't really my strength. Since childhood until high school, I always struggled in coloring materials. And when I recently got back to drawing when I created this channel, I started with alcohol markers and colored pencils. I tend to use colored pencils more when I'm drawing bigger characters with more gradient effect on it. But as time goes by and this channel gets bigger, my content somewhat shifted and detailed characters get drawn, and so to save time, I invest in alcohol brush markers. I rarely use the chisel tip when I'm coloring. If you're in this channel for a while, I usually draw smaller characters and using the brush tip is much more comfortable for me to use since I can easily color detailed areas and every tight corners of my drawings. Generally, when I'm coloring, I started with the skin as you can see here. I don't really think that my coloring is special though, but I always start by making the base of each portion colored completely, and you'll rarely see me leaving any white spaces just like you used to see on a manga. The skin color of this set is kinda limited though, since it only have 80 colors, but it does the job done. When all the base colors are done, it's time to add the shadows and shading. Normally, when choosing the shadows, I always look and select from the swatch sheet. With this, I choose a darker color than the base color to create a depth appearance of the character. In applying the shadows, I just usually color on top of the base layers. I also wanted to point out that you can also use the same kind of color for the shadows for the second time depending on your preference. But for this, I believe I'm using a darker one. I also sometimes use a dark gray color as a universal shade except for the skin, especially when coloring characters with lots of different colors. With that, I can save time in coloring. If you'll follow this technique for the shadows, I advise to slightly scrape it first at the base color and decides if the color combination looks good or not. When it comes to shading, it's also important to locate your light source. In this one, I decided it to be on the left, so I must put the shadows on the right side. I'm not an expert, but you get the idea. You'll also notice that I don't always or even rarely blend colors, and I've got to be honest, I'm not that good in blending, and that's what I'm trying to at least learn as this channel progresses. I really think that if you're interested in getting colored markers, brush markers is the way to go compared to fine solid nibs if you're talking about versatility, especially when you're coloring on small details. And if you're looking for an affordable alcohol brush markers, then maybe Arrtx OROS brush markers is for you. You can check it out by following the link in the description. Anyway guys, I hope that you'll find the tips and advice that I've given about alcohol markers helpful, or at the very least, you had fun listening. Please enjoy the rest of the video.